Welcome back, everyone, to part 3 of my guitar collection video series. These next two videos are going to be a lot more random because I couldn't really categorize the rest of my guitars, but let's get right to it. This first one does have a pretty interesting story to it, at least I think it's interesting, and that is a Schecter Diamond Series, Damien V1. Yes, it's a flying V. How much more metal can you get, right? But what made me really badly want this guitar is just the bat inlays. I don't know. There you go. Like the bats flying up the neck. To me, that was so cool looking. I was like, man, I have to have that. And it wasn't like overly expensive, thankfully, which is good because I'm not going to lie, I don't play this guitar. I really don't. This has passive EMGs in them, and believe me, they are not anywhere near as powerful as the actives. Plus, it's kind of awkward to play. I don't know if this is the case with all flying Vs, but this thing is like unbalanced. Like if you're playing it with a strap, like it wants to like drop down. Like so, like I feel like I'm constantly having to lift it up. I did use this guitar in the Sega James Cold video I did. So, but I'm not gonna lie, even though I don't play it, it is just a cool display piece. I just think it looks cool. But the story behind this was I bought this. Well, originally I bought this from a guy off eBay, and no joke, the guy for several weeks basically just kept playing with me. He's like, dude, I'm sorry, I haven't got the chance to send it out yet, blah, blah, blah. He kept giving me these sob stories about like going to his kid's game or something like that. I'm like, dude, you can't take 10, 15 minutes to drop this off at a UPS drop off or something like that, you know what I mean? And just he kept playing with me over and over and over and over again, and eventually I got sick of it. So I reported him, and the guy claimed that when I reported him, it froze his bank account, which I reached out to eBay. And they were like, no, we just froze that payment. So I'm assuming that his bank account only had my payment in there. I'm guessing. I have no idea. So I ended up canceling the claim that I filed, and that way he would have the money to ship it. And after about 2 more weeks, he kept giving me these stories over and over again. So I ended up calling eBay. And for one, they told me straight up, it's like, the dude's lying to you for one, because like they don't even get payment until I receive the item, I think, or something like that. But the guy was like, we don't like freeze your bank account when a claim is filed on you. That doesn't really happen. Yeah, thankfully the guy helped me out, refunded my money, canceled the order. And next thing I know, that guy was no longer on eBay. Go me. But anyway, thankfully I was able to find someone else selling this guitar, and yeah, like I said, I don't play it, but it is just a really cool display piece. I don't know, but for now it just hangs up on the wall and looks pretty. So next up we have an Epiphone 1984 reissue Explorer. So if you're looking at this thinking James Hetfield, yeah, you're pretty much right. So like I said in my ESP, the first video I did, growing up I was a huge Metallica fan, and that's one of the reasons I got into ESP guitars. But even to this day, I absolutely love a lot of James Hetfield's guitar designs. I just think he has some of the coolest designs. So as you know, James Hetfield is known for playing Explorers. And as a teenager, I really badly wanted to be James Hetfield. But as I got older, I don't know, I was like, man, I really badly want an Explorer. I was kind of curious about these because I'd never played one before. And they just look so weird and awkward, and I thought they would feel that way, but they don't. They feel surprisingly balanced. So the thing about this one, though, so I will say this about Epiphone. I'm not a big Gibson fan, like I already said, and I'm not a big Epiphone fan. I've never really picked up an Epiphone guitar that I was like, oh my god, this guitar is great. My opinion. So if that's the case, you might be asking, James, then why the hell did you buy an Epiphone guitar? So I remember one day Sam Ash had these, they were a Sam Ash exclusive. So they released this one and the white one, which I have on the wall, and I'll get that in a second. And I was like, oh my god, I have to have these guitars. I absolutely have to have them. So I think they were like $600 a piece or something like that, but I wanted both. And I was like, damn, I don't have $1,200 lying around. I didn't. But I had a drum set that I was no longer playing, and I had the 7-string that I talked about in a previous video. So I sold those on eBay, both surprisingly for $600, and ended up getting these two guitars. So the one thing I didn't say in my first video was the one thing I really love about the Eclipse series is consistency. Like every guitar to me feels the same. It doesn't feel like I'm playing a different guitar, and that's important to me. So I remember this guitar actually shipped first, and actually the first one had a chip. There was a crack in the neck, so I had to send it back. But when this one came, I was kind of disappointed because the neck, you probably can't tell, but the neck is kind of fat. And I mean, it's not hard to play. I was just like, I don't really like that too much. So I ended up tuning this down significantly. I figured, well, the neck's thick enough, it can handle it, I guess. But the white one, which I'm going to magically get right now, magic. So this one showed up a couple of weeks later, and I instantly fell in love with this guitar. It's actually probably one of my primary guitars right now. I play this one all the time. For one, I mean, the white color is just, it's nice. I absolutely love that. But surprisingly, the neck on this one is nowhere near as fat. And it actually kind of feels like playing one of my Eclipses. So that's one of the reasons I like it. So there's not a big adjustment between playing this one and going to one of my Eclipse guitars. But yeah, this actually has become one of my primary guitars, believe it or not. So last up is the guitar that started it all. This is an Aria Pro 2 STG series Stratocaster. This was the first ever electric guitar I ever got. And I believe I was 10 years old when I got it, for my 10th birthday, I believe. And I'm not gonna lie, I did not take the best care of it. I was very rambunctious as a kid. I didn't take care of my shit, I'll just be honest. I've learned over the years, but so there's quite a few dents and dings here and there, but for a cheap guitar, and believe me, it was a cheap guitar, it says a lot. I mean, it's survived all this time. And, you know, surprisingly, it's a nice little guitar. It plays really well. But over the years, it got modified a little bit. I got rid of the white pickguard, put the black one on here to reflect my dark personality, I guess. I even got new pickups put into it. These are Seymour Duncan dual humbucker pickups. Apparently, I was young and stupid and didn't realize you could put humbuckers in here. So I found these dual humbuckers. They're supposed to be just like humbuckers, but they fit into a single coil slot. Definitely, it beefed up the sound a little bit, but nothing anywhere near close to what I wanted. But what I will say about this guitar is, even though, yeah, I don't really play it much anymore, I remember before I was recording the Cryptic Calling album, I was kind of messing around with different guitars, trying to figure out what I wanted to use on the album. Get the hell out of here. And I remember I was like, man, I haven't played this guitar in so long, and I hooked it up, and the clean sound was perfect. And it just, I don't know, there's something about active pickups. I don't really care for the clean sound too much. But these pickups, at least for the clean sound, absolutely loved it. And it was basically the primary clean sound that you hear on the Cryptic Calling album is this guitar. So the first guitar I ever had is still going to some use. But yeah, I can't believe it's still around. It still works. It's stood the test of time, to say the least. So yeah. Well, anyway, that was part 3 of my guitar collection video series. Stick around for the grand finale. You guys know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And I will see you again on the next one.